Welcome to this week's episode of Talking with Our Traders. I'm the host, Cindy Edwards, and with me today, as always, is Craig Mucklow, Vice President of Trading here at Caesars Sportsbook.
Hello there.
And we have Joey Fiesel, Head of College Football here at Caesars.
Hello, everybody.
Hey guys, how's the week been?
So far, so good. Cold.
Cold. Yeah.
It was good.
Getting to that time.
Somebody's got their tail between their legs with their love affair for the Cowboys, but we'll...
Yeah,
he's
a little L that week.
Try and redeem himself this week.
We all can't bet 1,000.
It's alright, Joey. I also took an L. But let's get into it. NFL, Jalen Hurts has the same number of turnovers as Josh Allen, but we don't really hear as much about it. Why is that?
One quarterback has 7 wins versus 500 or greater teams. He's got a win over the other. And he has 10 wins and is tied for the division. The other's got 3 wins versus 500 or greater teams and only 8 wins on the season. Do the math.
Yeah, I had the same thing. It's, a few weeks ago, Eagles were 10-1, Bills were 6-5. That plays a big role. I think in addition to, for quarterbacks, we treat interceptions far greater than we treat fumbles.
Right.
They both have similar numbers. Josh Allen, 2.9% interceptions per attempt. Jalen Hurts, 2.6. The one thing that I see, and I didn't get this consistency last game, is Josh Allen has thrown at least 1 interception in 11 of his 14 games as opposed to Jalen Hurts' 8. So I think it's really that consistency that reminds us each week why Josh Allen gets that criticism for turnovers. Sometimes, when I watch him play, he does make those riverboat gambler throws. With the Eagles, they're much more of a run-focused team, so it's not relying so much on that deep ball. And usually the receivers are going to be much more open because of that threat of that rushing attack for the Eagles. Every defense is focused on that. So I think we just don't see it as much, and that's why it's not getting that criticism. Really, the wins, it's essential.
Yeah, it's just an easy target, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very true.
Especially when your team's not performing.
Yeah. Scapegoat?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Okay, so with Brock Purdy's endorsement, does Christian McCaffrey deserve to win MVP?
Is that like the Oscars endorsement when you just lose to Meryl Streep for the 18th time and you have to clap and pretend that you're happy?
I don't know. When you have the MVP candidate saying, hey, this guy deserves to be MVP, does that hold any weight or no?
No.
He's just being nice because he wants it.
I think that's the old self-deprecating comment,
Right.
to kind of add to his campaign. But I think CMC I might be biased. He's on my fantasy team. He put up a lot of points for me last week. And I've always loved CMC since he joined the league. But almost every game, CMC is the best player in the field. In every game this year. And I know it's a quarterback award. It's really how the NFL has treated it. But I truly think CMC, I think his threat for running the ball is what added for Brock Purdy being able to throw it so well as well. So I think that should be taken into consideration. I don't think it's going to happen. I think if the Niners continue to roll, they're going to give it to Brock Purdy. But I do think CMC deserves it.
The betting suggests it's Purdy. McCaffrey's there, and Lamar Jackson and Dak probably ruined his chances this week. But if you look at McCaffrey's stats, like no players over 1,000 yards in rushing this year, he's ahead by 300 yards. He's not going to win the touchdown rushing lead. I'm most certain Miami will win that. But the most impressive stat for McCaffrey is of his 244 carries, and I didn't even look at his 400-500 receiving yards. 74 of those carries resulted in a first down. Those extend drives, and those make points. And to Joey's point, that sets up play action. It sets up different plays. And then you look at Purdy's numbers. 45% of his passing yards come yards after the catch anyway. So he's got the receivers helping him out as well. So 100% McCaffrey deserves it.
Right.
He's not going to get it. He's a running back.
There's a difference between deserves and gets.
Right.
All right. And just in case Brock Purdy's endorsement doesn't mean much, Tom Brady also gave his to CMC. So I don't know if the GOAT has more weight or not.
Does the GOAT have a vote?
That's really good.
I don't know. No. Okay. Well, we'll get into more MVP conversations as the episode progresses, but do we think a team will break the NFL scoring record this season? We saw Miami and the Raiders come very close. I believe we have the market up on the app, do we?
Yeah, it's 100-1 now. Obviously, we're running out of games and Weber's more involved. So we've got the Dolphins putting 70 on the Broncos, the Raiders putting 63 on the Chargers, which 14 points were gifted to them on defense. if you go back the last few years, the closest you've got, the Ravens put 59 on the Dolphins week 1 of the 2020 season. The Bills put 56 on the Dolphins week 17 2 years ago. And the Cowboys put 56 on Washington the same season, week 16. So if it's going to happen, Dallas, Baltimore, and Buffalo, those 3 teams mentioned, all play Miami in the next 3 weeks.
Buffalo also plays the Chargers next week, or this week.
Yeah,
so
this week. Which
maybe that gets it done.
Look, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. The weather, it's got to be weather permitting. You do need some defensive scores to help you because the offense. The Raiders went for it for the first half and they continued, but then when you gifted an extra 14 points on defense, back-to-back defensive touchdowns, that's where the difference is. When Miami hit 70, they scored on defense as well, and Mike White went for a 70-yard pass. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility.
Right, it's unlikely. The same thing this time of year. A lot of cold games that are going to make a big difference. And it seems like the Dolphins, they have a tough defensive stretch from here on out,
And they're injured.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's unlikely. Could happen. I mean, it's the NFL. I mean, I would not have seen the Raiders scoring that many points last week.
I don't think anyone would have.
Neither did the Raiders or the NFL.
They went from 0 to 60 real quick.
Yeah. Faster than my car.
Okay, so never say never.
Never say never.
No, and I think maybe there's a possibility with the game record being beat. Tyreek's hell-bent on getting his 2,000 yards. He didn't play last week, so Miami play deep. And if you watched Hard Knocks last night, he envisaged the one-play drive. I think they'll be hell-bent to get Tyreek to those yardage, which could mean shootout, so there's a possibility. But, yeah.
We'll have to see.
We'll see.
Okay, who is going to win the NFC East, the Cowboys or the Eagles?
It's a very clear path.
Wait.
Oh, whoa.
How about I count down from 3 and you both say your answer?
Should be the correct one, okay?
All right. Is everyone ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1. Eagles.
Yeah.
All right. Now
I was going to go out on a
switch.
limb and say it's not going to be New York or Washington.
Yeah, that's a big one as
Crazy.
well. Yeah.
Minus 260 the Eagles for the division, plus 210 the Cowboys. The Cowboys have got the Dolphins on the road, the Lions and the Commanders. Win 2 of those 3 most likely. Not beyond the realms of possibility win all 3. However, the Eagles have got the Giants twice and the Cardinals. So the path to the division is easier for Philadelphia.
Right.
Yeah, very, very clear for the Eagles. Without Week 18 shenanigans,
Yes.
Eagles have about a little bit more of a coin flip of winning all games as opposed to 26% for the Cowboys. So it's a very clear path for the Eagles to get it done. You got the Giants twice and the Cardinals. And yeah, it's a tougher 2 games for the Cowboys with kind of those 2 teams that have really outperformed their coverage, Lions and Dolphins this year. So yeah, it should be the Eagles division. Minus 260 sounds about right for them to take it home.
All right. Who is ready for our second edition of Contenders or Pretenders?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Contenders or Pretenders, the Cleveland Browns.
So I'll go first. We'll flip them, yeah?
Yeah.
I have them ranked 9th. They've been as high as 3rd for me. You know, we've mentioned it a few times on Spaces, and people looked at me like I was crazy because they had no quarterback. 55-1 currently for the Super Bowl. If you're a Ravens fan right now, the last playoff matchup you want to see is the Browns and Joe Flacco against you. And
Right.
all the Ravens fans I know are very nervous about that. Also, a good friend of mine, his wife Amanda, thinks they're contenders through and through. There's no way I'm arguing with Amanda, so contenders for me.
Yeah, I had contenders as well. Despite the horror show this team has dealt with at quarterback, this team week after week shows tenacity in every game they play. Joe Flacco, I mean, he won
Flacco.
Super Bowl
Yeah.
first year I was in this sports book. So yeah, he's well seasoned, and even dealing with all those quarterback issues, they still find a way to win. So I think if they have an opportunity in the playoffs, they're definitely a contender.
Well, their
Alright.
opponents find a way to lose as well. The Bears,
That's
Howie
true.
did not come down with that catch
Right.
again.
I stand Joe Flacco. Okay. Contenders or Pretenders, Houston Texans.
I got pretenders. I just don't see this team has what it takes to take on a lot of these seasoned AFC teams in the playoffs. I think D'Amico Ryans has done a great job. C.J. Stroud obviously looks great. He's dealing with concussion. Looks like he might not play on Sunday again. But I think, not out of the realms of possibilities they're going to make the playoff, but I think that they don't have what it takes. They're not there yet to contend for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I have them ranked 17th on my numbers. They touched the top 5 early in the season. 70-1 tells you enough. They're 20th on defense on my numbers. Stroud's going to miss a second game. Clearly a pretender, but they're not out of the playoffs. I mean, that Week 18 game against the Colts could be huge. It could be a division decider.
Right. Okay, contenders or pretenders, the Seattle Seahawks.
Pretender. Although, to be fair, the Seahawks are our darling in the office. Every time we've really needed the Seahawks, I think Week 1, last year was it against the Broncos? On the Monday night, all the money all summer was for Denver. All the money was for Philadelphia this weekend. Seattle have bailed us out a few times. So as much as I'd like to say they're a contender, they are a pretender.
I got them as contenders. I think given the opportunity, the Seahawks team can give teams trouble. Be very well coached. They have a lot of great weapons. I know with the quarterback, with Geno Smith, Drew Lock's throwing on his horns, the vintage celebration he got made fun of. I'm an NFC West guy. I'm not a big fan of the Seahawks, but I think given the opportunity, I think they can give some trouble. I think they have won it.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of 4 teams chasing 2 spots in the NFC.
Yeah.
They've got 3 winnable games. Yes, they will be dangerous. Maybe they win 1 in the playoffs. Wouldn't surprise me. They did that when they had the losing record and won the division.
Right.
Beast mode.
Yeah, that's right.
Beast
Beast mode.
Yeah.
They're sneaky for sure.
Yeah.
Contenders or pretenders, the LA Rams.
Your team.
I got pretenders, unfortunately. I'm just not sold on my beloved Rams. McVay does have the offense rolling, but the defense is just not where it was a couple years ago. We saw even this last game, the Rams were up 14. They were so close. I was like, oh, we're going to lose this game. It's just Jacoby Brissett came in, threw down the field. I just don't think their defense is going to have enough to stop the top tier of the NFC. If they could make the playoffs. Their path isn't too hard. If they beat the Saints on Thursday, they should have a pretty clear path to the playoffs. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to get it done. Their defense is just not good enough.
My biggest move of the last 2 weeks, they've improved for me. They're up to 11th on my ratings. 2 winnable games. They probably might need a result against the 49ers week 18. So if the 49ers have locked up the 1, I don't expect them to be playing a starter. So there's a possibility they'll get that result. Again, one of the 4 teams chasing 2 spots. A pretender with an asterisk because they're improving. And the one thing when you get into the playoffs is it's all about form.
All right. Last one, contenders or pretenders, the Indianapolis Colts.
30th ranked defense and 16th overall, 100-1 for the Super Bowl. Pretender.
Yeah, I got pretender as well. I think this is very well coached young team under Steichen. I think they're pretenders for now, but I think in the years to come they're going to be contenders. I look forward to seeing Anthony Richardson have a full season, not get injured, when he plays next year. So yeah, not yet pretenders at the moment.
Oh, I wouldn't mind cheering on for Anthony Richardson once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, well that leads us into some updated NFL power rankings. Craig, you gave us some insight, but let's hear your top 5.
49ers would be 2.5 points superior to the field right now. Ravens second, and they would be a further 2 points superior to the Cowboys. Bills 4th, Chiefs 5th, and my Dolphins 6th.
Creeping up.
Yeah, the biggest drop last week was the Chargers, obviously. Biggest improve the Saints. They're up to 15 from 20.
Is this the first week you have the 49ers in front of the Ravens
No,
for some time?
No, he's not.
The last 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that'll all change on Christmas night anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true. Shall we?
I have 49ers, Ravens, Bills, pains me to say, Cowboys, Lions. I don't have the Chiefs in my top 5. I think even that win last week was ugly.
Dirty.
I think I don't see this team. I mean, they're when they get in the playoffs, they're gonna they have the experience, but I just don't see them as a top 5 team at the moment. And then I got 49ers, Ravens, Bills, Cowboys. Not kicking the Cowboys out yet, and Lions for my 5th. I think the Lions are gonna. Yeah, I think they're gonna gain some steam late.
All right. I like it. Let's move on into our game previews. Let's start with Cowboys versus Dolphins. Both teams are 10-4, but they both have the same problem. Do you guys want to guess what that problem is?
Can't beat good teams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Craig, do you want to start us off?
So we're saying the Bills are good.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll give it to them.
Miami bounced back as expected against the Jets after the Monday Night Football disaster. As expected, Cowboys laid an egg in Buffalo to some of us. They're looking to bounce back. As you said, Miami have yet to beat a quality opponent. We'll see if Dallas is for real this week. It's on the road. A road dog this year, the Cowboys are 0-3 against the spread. Since 2018, as a road dog against AFC teams, they're 1-6 straight up, but 6-1 to the under. And the last time Miami beat the Cowboys at home was 1984. Yeah,
Wow.
way before you were born. There's more to this though, because the loser can pretty much kiss any hope of the 1 seed goodbye, especially Miami. And they'll probably kiss goodbye to the division. As I said last week, I thought the 3-1 for the Bills for the AFC East was huge value. Miami lose this, Buffalo gain another game closer, and they still have to play each other, and they'll have the tiebreaker. The unders, remember, this is a 50-point total, and the 50-point totals this year, the under is 9-2. So although everybody's thinking high scoring, I don't think it will be.
Yeah, game opened up pick. Now it's Dolphins -1.5 despite Tyreek with the questionable tag.
He's 100% playing.
He's 100% playing? So we're going to forget that questionable tag. He didn't practice today.
That's what I thought last week. I was like,
He didn't need to, it was the Jets.
I know, but he wants the yards.
Yeah, he could have got 100 yards against the Jets on one leg.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought, but good for him.
Yeah, look, it's all about 2,000 yards or a Super Bowl ring. He's got a Super Bowl ring, so maybe he does want the 2,000 yards. But if you're the other 52 players on the Dolphins sideline, the goal is the Super Bowl.
Right.
Let's have a healthy Tyreek Hill, and you need him for this week. You did not need him last week.
Yeah.
No, I liked the decision.
Yeah, they were able to romp him despite no Tyreek. Mostert got some record. I think touchdowns in a season for the Dolphins.
Mark Clayton's.
Mark Clayton's?
Yeah, wide receiver.
Okay. Yeah, this should be a good game. I mean, it's again, these two teams, they have yet to beat that good team. Now they're still 2 games. Someone's got to win this game. I mean, they don't. I guess we could see a tie. But yeah, it's gonna be tough to see who win. I don't know who. I don't like lean this certain side. I'm gonna be rooting for the Dolphins, but yeah, it's a tough one to call. This game should be good.
Yeah, it's I thought they might have flexed this up to Sunday night, but they didn't. They kept it at the 1 o'clock time zone, which actually is fine because if you've got kids, that Broncos Patriots game's great. Put the kids in front of the game, get them to sleep early, and all the parents can get prepared.
All right, fair enough. A Christmas miracle, because a prime time game I actually want to watch is happening.
Yeah.
We have Ravens at 49ers, clearly the game of the week. Who wants to start?
I'll start this one. So line opened up 4.5. It's sitting at the dead number at 49ers -5.5. This is the matchup we've all been looking for. That nice woman from the TikTok suggested this is the Super Bowl matchup because of the colors.
Oh, yeah.
And it certainly
She
could
sure
be.
did.
Yeah. Look, both these teams been rolling. The 49ers just been, since they had that 3-game losing stretch, they've just been rolling. And then the Ravens, maybe the last game with Jacksonville, maybe Jacksonville had a little bit of slip up and the box score was a little deceiving.
And there was weather.
And there's weather going on. But I know both these teams want to beat each other and prove that they're the class of the NFL. Again, they've been in the top 2 of our power ratings week after week. So this is the Christmas game we've been looking for. Top to bottom, I think the 49ers are just the best team. Offensively, defensively. They have so many weapons in offense. Brock Purdy, CMC are all 3 of these, Lamar Jackson in this MVP running. This will be the game for the year. And I think me and Craig may or may not have a friendly wager for involving a spicy Dorito. So
Oh, the bet's on.
the bet is on, yeah. So whoever wins, we got 5.5. I got the Niners. Craig has the Ravens. Whoever comes out ahead is gonna have to get to watch the other eat a nice little hot spicy Dorito chip challenge.
Are we gonna be?
We'll do it live.
We're
I'll bring
gonna
the
do that
mayo.
live.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
We'll do it live. I'll bring the mayo.
You're picking mayo? Oh boy.
Only allowed.
Is mayo the trick?
Only allowed to have mayo on it, nothing else.
Look, it's been a while. I try to remember the last time I saw a 1-versus-1 so late in the season. On prime time, on Christmas Day, I mean, Mr. Goodell is over the moon with this one, isn't he?
Yeah.
The NBA are not too happy.
Right.
Clearly the best two teams in the league. It is the Super Bowl preview. The MVP is on the line. Whoever wins, if the 49ers win, it's Purdy or McCaffrey, most likely Purdy. Lamar's still got to go and beat Miami the week after. But as I said last week, if Lamar beats the 49ers, beats the Dolphins, the MVP's his. Those are two tough teams to go and beat. The winner pretty much guarantees their 1 seed and most likely MVP. It gets a bit testy for Baltimore and actually the 49ers because Miami and Dallas play the day before, so they'll know any kind of pressure. If Miami lose to Dallas, pressure's off Baltimore a little bit, so to speak, so it's not the end of the world if they lose, where the 49ers still have the Cowboys and the Eagles right behind them. Since 2018, the Ravens versus NFC opposition as a road dog, they've only played them 3 times and won all 3 straight up. Against the NFC altogether, 10-2 straight up, so the Ravens have the NFC's number. 49ers at home against AFC opponents, same time frame, they're only 7-5 straight up, but they've got quality losses to the cream of the AFC. The Dolphins, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bengals in the last few years. So they're not getting beat by average mid teams, I should say. For the company, we'll definitely need the Ravens because the 2 earlier games are double-digit favourites, and if they both cover and if they go over, we'll have a significant liability on that game. So I expect some line movement based on the early games. But hey, look, let's just hope it lives up to the hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. The Lions versus the Vikings. The Lions have a chance to lock up NFC North for the first time in decades.
No, they've never won.
Ever?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
It
crazy.
used to be the NFC Central the last time they won. Yeah.
So, will they get it done?
I think they will. They got back on the horse against the Broncos.
Yeah, they looked good.
They look good. Denver's not all that. They get to play Minnesota twice, so even if they lose this one because it's on the road, they'll get them again. It's the Lions division. It's big for Detroit also because they're fighting for the top. They're not ruled out, so they have an opportunity. But the Lions have lost 5 straight in Minnesota. The last time they won was 2017, which was a 14-7 blockbuster, my kind of game. Home field's probably the big differentiator for me. I had the game at pick. The Lions probably cut 3 Lions right now.
Yeah, it's at 3 right now.
But I've been over high on the Vikings all year, so that's where that comes from.
Yeah. Viking Stadium isn't an easy stadium to play in, right? Their fans show up.
They show up, Yeah, Lions were able to get out of their slump against the Broncos. Had a very dominating performance in that game. Vikings, really tough loss against the Bengals on Saturday. Vikings they're kind of in that little playoff range, but really struggling without Kirk Cousins. Now they're going to Mullins. Just really the offense is not the same. They got Justin Jefferson back, but it's still, I think, one team's going down, the other team's going up. Lions opened up -3. It's now flirting with Lions 3.5. I think the Lions want this one badly, just to put the division at rest and get themselves into playoff form. So yeah, I do like the Lions in this matchup.
All right, moving on. Another game with some playoff implications. We talked about Flacco. Next we have Browns versus Texans. Craig, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I had this game at pick and 40. I think the total's 40, but the spread's moved because of the quarterback news. The move suggests that Stroud is 5 points of value, which for a rookie I'm not there yet. It's a bit high for me. He's going to miss his second game. He's still in concussion protocol. No use risking his career. Couldn't come at a worse time for the Texans these games because obviously they're in the thick of the AFC South title race. I think it's a 3-way tie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jags, Colts, and Texans. The Jags have come back to earth, so they're beatable. Their opponents in the division are both on the road this week, so it's big. The Browns were very fortunate to win on Sunday, but from the way I see it, I think they need one more win to claim a playoff berth, which they're not going to be any of the high seeds. You're going to make the playoffs, okay. You're going to be on the road. Get Flacco with some reps. You've got the Jets next week, so if the Browns lose this week, they're in anyway. It's a tough one because the Browns' defense is red hot. But the Titans are gritty. I mean, they found a way to win in Tennessee. I thought that game was over early.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it was over pretty early. Case Keenum was back there. But no, Joe Flacco and the Browns defense continue week by week, just grinding that 9-5 record as they make the push for the playoffs. Stroud again, probably not going to play on Sunday. Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
It is Sunday. Okay. I think it's definitely in the favor of the Browns. Line opened up 1.5 Texans, then it went to 2.5 Browns, which is just that suggesting the Stroud news. But I don't think this is a guaranteed win by any stretch of the means for the Browns. Like again, the Texans, they're going to battle. D'Amico Ryan's a really young team, coached well. So it should be actually a pretty good game. Even, a couple years ago, you say Brown Texans, like, oh, it's going to be terrible.
I think that's the best of the 10 a.m. kickoffs as well. You got that game, then you got the Dolphins Cowboys, and then get ready for Christmas.
All right, we'll see. Are you guys ready to play overreaction or not?
Oh yeah.
Oh, always ready.
All right, Craig, you might have alluded to this previously, but overreaction or not, the winner of Ravens 49ers wins the MVP.
If the Niners win, yes. If the Ravens win, they've got to beat the Dolphins. So, not an overreaction. It pretty much goes a long way to deciding, that's for sure.
Yeah, not an overreaction. Game could certainly, again, with the Niners, Lamar winning this game, I think definitely puts him in the driver's seat, like you said, with the Dolphins coming up. So, not an overreaction on this.
All right, overreaction or not, the Falcons should fire Arthur Smith.
Overreaction. There are worse coaches in the league with jobs and teams that are expected to do better.
Care to name drop?
No. The defense is improved. So year on year, under Arthur Smith, the defense is improved by a field goal, but the problem is the offense has regressed by the same amount of points. So they're not benefiting. They've got some talent to build around. I'm assuming they're going to miss the playoffs. I mean, they're still in with a shout for the division. I think he gets one more year, but I mean, overreaction.
Yeah, I got overreaction as well. I mean, the Falcons have certainly fallen short of their expectations. I thought it was a very questionable decision to go with Desmond Ridder as the guy at quarterback. I felt with the addition of Bijan, Mariota would have been certainly serviceable instead of just handing the reins over to Desmond Ridder, and I think that helped them, especially offensively. We've seen week after week they just can't get it done offensively. So I don't think it's over for Arthur Smith. I think he's a fine coach. I think he's the right guy for the job. I think give him another year. I just think they need a serviceable quarterback.
Fair enough. Overreaction or not, the Panthers would be in the playoffs if they had drafted C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young.
Overreaction. C.J. Stroud, obviously the better quarterback in the 2023 draft, but I think the Texans were in a better spot. D'Amico Ryans is a much better coach than Frank Reich, in my opinion, and they had that foundation to build on as opposed to Frank Reich starting at the ground level. So, overreaction there, I don't think.
Yeah, I had overreaction as well. One player does not make a team.
Right.
The Texans, they might not make the playoffs, but they have the better roster. The question for me is, do the Bears pick a quarterback at number one?
Hope not.
Fields is resurging, or do they trade out and get a load more picks? Because they've got first and fifth, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
They've got two pretty high picks. Does question why you keep changing your coach with Giotto, the Panthers, and some poor decision making when it comes to drafting, which it's a crapshoot anyway.
Right. Okay, overreaction or not, Bill Belichick will be the next head coach of the Chargers.
I'm going to take this one because it's my favourite subject. Where was he born?
I don't know. You tell me.
Nashville, Tennessee.
I would have never guessed that.
See where I'm going there?
Oh.
Oh, the Titans?
You think he's heading down there?
Isn't it a Patriots coach there now, Vrabel?
Vrabel, yeah.
And he's heading up? You think they're doing a little swap?
It wouldn't surprise me. They've got a core of talent there. The Titans just never. They haven't lived up to their billing, but they're always a tough out. They're tough teams to beat. personally, I think it's an overreaction because I don't think he coaches again. You've got 8 Super Bowl rings. You're 71 years old. Go enjoy those Super Bowl rings. I will. I'd be looking at them all day.
Yeah, I think he's a sick puppy. He's going to want to coach
Yeah,
again.
me
So
too.
I
He
got
wants that record.
Yeah, he wants, Not an overreaction. I think out of all the jobs coming up, the Chargers is going to be the most attractive. You have phenomenal weapons on both offense and defense. Just
Warm
don't
weather climate.
warm weather.
Yeah,
Who doesn't
71.
want to be in LA? I mean, come on. The only thing is just don't let Belichick be in charge of making picks because he hasn't been very good at it the past couple of years.
I thought the dog was doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't that video with the dog sat
I
to
remember
the laptop?
dog.
Yeah.
We'll get the
It's
dog
an
out
accurate
there too.
representation.
No, but if I heard rumblings about the Patriots trading Belichick, which can
It's
happen.
happened before. Yeah.
And that's a win-win because then if the Patriots don't want to go with Belichick going forward, you can get some parting gifts on the
What
way.
do you value Bill Belichick at if he were to be in a trade?
A 7th round draft pick, probably number 31, so you don't pick Brock Purdy
Get
after.
out of here. Okay.
Yeah. Would be interesting.
I don't know.
It's only because it's your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, overreaction or not, the Seahawks wide receiver trio is the best in the NFL.
Huge overreaction. I mean, they just don't have depth. They've only got 3 wide receivers. Out of everybody else, have got 17 combined. You've got the 2 wide receivers in San Francisco,
Right.
plus Kittle. He might be a tight end, but he's a wide receiver. There's a team in Miami that have a bunch of wide receivers as well.
They might have a couple.
The Ravens have better wide receiving core. Throw Mark Andrews in. These tight ends should be paid wide receiver money. So no, overreaction.
See, I put not an overreaction because I looked at just trio. You have to have 3.
It's a trick question.
He
because
plays
you
by
pick
the
wide
rules.
receivers.
So I said it's not an overreaction, but I don't think it's clear cut. You have the Bengals who have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. That's a solid 3. Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup. That's another solid 3. Even the Vikings, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne. Solid 3. But there's some duos out there that I would take over the Seahawks. Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous combination. Or my Rams, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But certainly that Seahawks is stacked. We've seen Jackson Smith and Jigba, very good pickup, made that game-winning catch. So maybe not the best. I think it's not cut clear, but the trio thing is you have to have 3 because some of them have a really good tight end as well. Because if you go to the Vikings, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, that's a good trio as well. So. I think I went too specific about having 3 wide receiver trio.
We love it.
When I saw 17 receptions by the rest of the wide receivers, I'm like, you've got no depth.
Okay, well, let's get into our weekly game predictions, and let's start with the only guy who got a win last week.
Who's
Craig.
that guy?
Craig, would you like to give your weekly game predictions?
So first things first, all those weather games last week that we mentioned all went under, and they all went under.
Yeah, you were 3 for 3.
5 for 5. There's only one weather game this week, so this is my pick, because I'm a one-trick pony. James Madison and Air Force Saturday under. It's 41 and a half.
Yeah.
All right. Joey?
I'm going with the Lions. I think Lions put the Vikings to bed, so give me the Lions -3.
Now, the question is, you're at the Chiefs Raiders, aren't you, on Christmas night?
I sure am.
Okay, what's the winner?
Okay, so Raiders plus 360.
Points.
No.
Oh, money line.
Money line. But hear me out, guys. Hear me out.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes is like one drop pass away from a mental breakdown, in my opinion.
I might agree with that.
And
Can't say I blame him.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
He's absolutely accurate. I would be freaking out as well. But Max Crosby is going to take full advantage of his mental state and his fragility. And I don't necessarily think the Raiders are playing for the playoffs. I think that's far away from happening. But they are playing for their coach. And I've been saying all season that I'm taking Raiders over Chiefs. And I'm not backing down now.
No, you've said it all season.
I might be the only person in that entire stadium wearing Raiders gear, but I'll be there. I'll show up, and I'll show out.
Busy checking the weather reports, how cold it is.
Feel free to fade, But
No,
That's
but
my
I
pick.
bet Patrick Mahomes would love Seattle's wide receiver trio, wouldn't he?
he sure
Oh, you'd
would.
love it.
In all
Yeah.
fairness, I did have a better caviar trio Monday night than the wide receivers.
Yeah. Yeah. His reaction to what was it? Did Tony tip the ball and it turned into an
Yes.
interception?
Yeah.
Okay, I was
Tony
actually
is
watching.
not getting a Christmas card.
I'm like, he's got to
No,
stop throwing
he's
to
not.
him
Just
because
stop
I
throwing.
feel like he's
But-
on edge every single time.
But you can't use him as a decoy either because the defenses will just leave him on his own.
Yeah,
Going for
yeah,
while he's
right.
not catching it.
Right. All right. Well, we are just about out of time. Thank you all who joined for our special NFL Christmas preview. From our Caesars family to yours, we hope you have happy holidays and happy betting. Guys, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, happy and safe holidays. See you after the break.
Yeah, we sure will.
Yeah, happy holidays and good luck.
Bye.